Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Welcome to another episode of Do Not Relent. Radiant echoes are beginning to rumble. Is it a case of haunted memories, or is Azeroth churning out some fresh colon sausage? Warcraft has its first ever unionized guild, and Warband banks are still banished to Warband jail. I'm Slidewhistle, and who are you motherfuckers?
That felt really professional. I don't know if we can run that, like, for... Okay, well, there's the unprofessionalism.
Yeah, mute your mic, bubby.
Yeah, so that is a crazy intro. That is a little too professional for our own good here. That's more like it. I am Immunization. Hello, welcome to Prepatch. Yes, hello, it's here now, finally.
The facts are coming quicks because the legs are long. Welcome to our long legs catch-up podcast.
Yes.
Also, it's me, Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag.
We are on a quick time frame here because Slidewhistle and I are immediately after recording this and After Dark heading to go see Long Legs, the horror movie. I don't remember how this came about, but you know it's happening.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
I, for one, am always happy to see any sort of appendage be longer than its other ones. You'll have to let me know. I was really let down by Little Arms.
Oh, you know, arms is also very expensive, so we've established that. But yeah, we got a lot of shit to talk about. I just want to so let's just bust in, I feel like, with how we're feeling about how everything looks. Everything's new. We got a fresh UI base going on. Talents are a little different.
Well, yeah, and they tried to trick me by changing my UI. For whatever reason, they turned off all my damn bars. And so I loaded in, and I just had this one little shrinkly dinky bar, and I was like, what is this? What's going on? And it definitely
you have to like go into settings and turn them back on or something?
Yeah, but it definitely took me like 3 minutes of sitting there like, I guess this is my life now, trying to reorganize things. But before I was like, oh, you can just turn them back on. See, I had to turn on bars 2 through 5, but I was like, I don't appreciate the trickery.
Yeah, in classic, this patch is basically like, it's almost like a new expansion patch almost. They're kind of cutting them in half so that way they can have less bugs on opening day. But there's been some weird bugs going around. They made a blue post about Aaron's problem, like certain bars turning off. You know that there's some poor, like, older person out there who can't figure it out and is like, well, I guess I only got 3 buttons now.
Yeah, it was almost Aaron.
Yeah, I was sitting there, like, maneuvering things in edit mode to be like, well, I kind of like these things to be here and here. But luckily, it was remedied. But yeah, they've done other old person things. Like, this shows you how much of a capital G gamer I am. The escape menu is really big now, and I don't know how to feel about that.
It's fucking huge. It's almost too big, and I haven't actually tried to look into this, but can you make it smaller again?
When you say escape menu, you mean like when you hit escape and like all the options
yeah,
on the bars?
Yeah, when you hit escape and it's like options, shop, log out, exit game, all those things. It used to be, if I'm looking at my screen, I would say maybe a fifth of the screen. Now it's a solid third. It is vertical almost all the way to the top to all the way to the bottom.
I don't know.
No, I don't think you can change that because that's not something that's editable in edit mode.
I'm not sure how I didn't notice that. I've been small side note, we've been playing GM mode in WWE 2K24, and my complaint is everything is too fucking small. So I guess if I had to have it one way, I guess I'd rather have it be obscenely large.
Yeah, I mean, same, but it is obscenely large. I don't know how you have not noticed it, just because it is huge. It's like comically big. It's like if you took your grandma's phone and opened up text messages and like whatever you would assume the size of her like text would be in there. It's that big.
Oh my god, yeah. Maybe my eyes aren't so good anymore. Maybe I was like, oh, finally, I can see the buttons. But I like, it's weird because I've noticed the UI in other places, and it's giving like, if the Pixies from Fairly Odd Parents designed a UI, it's so grayscale and it's so like basic and big that it almost, it's weird. Like, I don't think it's a bad change. I think it's like kind of net neutral, I just feel like it does lose a lot of the charm and the whimsy of how it used to be. But it is simpler now.
Yeah, I hate to say, because I'm very able-bodied, if they did this to make sure that more people can see it, fine. But I like when there's extra dragons and stuff. Throw a bunch of stupid accoutrement on there that blocks half the screen. That's my WoW.
Yeah, and we had a little bit of a discussion earlier today on our Discord, which you can get to by going to our Linktree at donotRelent.com. And Vanderlyle said that the changes of the UI in particular made it feel like a WoW clone made for iOS. And then I said that I saw a tweet, I think from one of the WoW Twitter girls or whatever, saying something along the line of like some of the UI changes feeling as if they're like console friendly for like a console port. And I'm like, now I can't stop thinking about these things.
Do you think it's a sign of things to come, or is it just they just were going for a design change? Because I guess think about it, like a lot of this shit has been untouched for God knows how long.
Sounded like something was happening over there.
Yeah, the cats were fighting in the background. They tend to do this from time to time.
Yeah, of course, during our hectic time when we need to go, they're like, we need to fight in the background right now. Have you guys had any other bugs or things that have happened to you so far?
Oh yeah, okay. So we did a dungeon just to see if how the changes felt, like how the class changes felt. Evoker felt like they just stole like 120k of my damage. Like I felt like I was weak. But not only that, we completed the dungeon really quickly, and I got a ring. And the other person, I don't know what they were, a shaman, was like, hey, do you need that ring? And I was like, no, take it. I opened the trade window. I accept trade. And he's just sitting there. And I'm like, you mean, why is this fucking guy just fucking standing here? And he's like, are you DCing?
Because I look over to his screen and I see that, like, my hunter is still there. And everyone's still just standing there. I'm like, oh, I've been in Vildraken for, like, a minute now. So, like, I think you're DC'd.
So I fucking have to restart WoW. I have to close it all up. I try to log into my Evoker, and it says, this character is already being used. So I'm like, cool. I get on my Death Knight, and somebody in trade chat, as I log in, says, hey, did they ever fix that bug where if you're trading somebody, your game crashes? And then a couple hours ago, WoW disabled cross-realm trading. So I think we found the culprit.
Yeah, and then, like, there is the overarching bug, which a lot of people are theorizing about why the maintenance was so long and why there's been a daily maintenance every morning, specifically during Slidewhistle's break when he would normally be playing WoW.
I'm ready for them at this point. I know they're coming. I was telling him, I was like, well, I'm going to have maintenance tomorrow. He goes, no, there's no maintenance tomorrow. There's nothing on the menu. And I'm like, baby, you know good and well there's going to be maintenance today after that big old patch.
There's going to be maintenance every day until TWW.
Specifically while I'm at work on my 9 o'clock break. I'm like, oh boy, I get to play some WoW at 9 a.m. Nope.
Yeah, but the overarching bug is that the Warband bank is still just unable to be accessed. I assume we all did our, like, quick Warband quest chain. Very quick and very whatever.
Could not tell you a single thing of what happened. I swear, I even sat down and I read the quest, but it was all very inconsequential. It was interesting to me that they opted to even make it a quest, and it wasn't just like, hey, by the way, we've added a button to your bar. See ya.
I guess it's kind of nice they did, just so like people were, if they weren't watching somehow and they just came back, they're aware this is a thing. But I did it twice because I did it on beta, and I still couldn't tell you what it was about. Like, I agree. I have no clue.
Especially because there were so many people there that it's like, kill magic trogs or something. And then I go out and it's just trogs falling over. And then you accept the next quest. And it's like, there's going to be a dwarf coming through this magic portal. And by the time I hit yes, he was already there. So I threw a single fireball at him and it's like, he's dead. You did it. You saved Gadget Zan, ?
So I believe the crux of it was that, like, you were working with, like 5 adventurers or whatever to, like, set up a beacon so that they could open up a bank that is shared between them wherever. And I'm like, oh, so in lore, are these characters, like, alts of each other? And then I was also like, I don't think any of these characters have ever been encountered before. Or did they really just decide to make like 5 or 6 brand new characters just for this quest chain that doesn't mean anything?
I guess, yeah, they really wanted to let you know that, like, oh, this is the stand-in for you. Like, You don't need to know these guys' names because they're just player characters, but not.
Okay, do not worry. All cats have been removed from the premises. You can hear them screeching
wondered,
in the background.
I was like, Slidewhistle is surprisingly they're probably fighting it. They're too excited for the war within. They're having
the war
a war
within our
your
living
home.
room. Jesus.
Exactly.
You know what's great? We get to make these war within your blank the entire next 2 years. Honestly, the next recording forever, I feel like we have a chance.
Yeah, unlimited meme potential here.
Real JD Vance couch shit. It writes itself.
You know, I do not give a shit if it's real or fake. I'm just going to keep referencing it just because I think it's so fucking hilarious.
I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday, and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist, too.
Sir, you have to leave the art van. Please stop making love to our couches.
I love you guys.
When do we think we're going to have warband banks? Like, is it going to be anytime soon?
The war within. That's the obvious answer here. Like literally the expansion. And that is being a little generous. It's going to be down until then. They're going to claim that it's going to be there, but then like the first day or so, it's still going to be down. That's my prediction.
The war bank within.
I think we get an Overwatch 2 single player. I think we get it for 1 weekend. It doesn't work very well, and then they take it out and they said, sorry, we were thinking of other stuff.
We're trying really hard. Okay, so Aaron, when you in Dragonflight, right? When you're flying, what was your ratio of normal flying to dragon flying that you use? Did you ever normal fly ever?
No. Yeah, well, in Dragonflight itself, once normal flying was unlocked, I don't know, I never used it. I don't like dragon flying, but that zone is just made to dragonfly in. Like, there was no point to ever standard fly, except for sometimes occasionally in, like, the Emerald Dream, but yeah, no, I never normal flew, but that said, I don't want to have to wiggle my hands for 5 seconds every time I want to.
You know, I'm in the same boat as you, and Slidewhistle was mad at me. He said that I was an anomaly and I was really weird for, like, rarely ever normal flying.
No, I said you were an anomaly because you said that other weird thing after that. What did you say? Remember, you said that you never spent gold if it was on clothes. No, you said you never did a dungeon without rubbing your hands. No, what'd you say? You said something weird.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I think you're, like, making something up right now.
I mean, I never do a dungeon without rubbing my hands.
But
that's just because I got something going on up there. Just when I get excited, I rub my hands together like a praying mantis.
Was it bag related? What? Oh, he presses the sort bags button. That's what he does.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I did not say that. I quite literally said the opposite. I said it has crossed my mind before to press it on purpose once and start sorting my bag in the way that it sorts, just in case I ever accidentally press it again. It won't fuck up my life for a month while I try to figure out what was there and where I was trying to resort things. That is what I said. But no, I have never actually done this. It just was a thought I had.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I rest my case. He thought about it, and that alone should be a crime indicting him of all sins.
This was also not in the same conversation.
That's a Minority Report thought crime right there. He thought about doing something terrible, so we're throwing him in the clink.
Get him! So I would use both versions of flying depending on what I was doing. I mean, obviously,
because when you were an owl man, then I assume you normal flew.
Even on my evoker. So for my evoker, once they introduced the ability for me to soar dragonfly, I never used a regular dragonflying mount unless I was like in a raid where they forced me to do it, right? So then I would just put normal mounts on my bags or on my buttons. So then I would like soar dragonfly around like a Suffusion camp or whatever, or like around the fucking Chromie time, what Soradormi thingy. But then I would get on a regular golden beetle and I would just kind of fly around the zone so I could get what I needed, like the Titan disc item or like the treasure that I'm trying to get without having to fucking start, stop.
Yeah, my only times that I legitimately normal flew was when I was on my druid questing, just because it was so quick and easy to just switch into the flight form or whatever. And my other time is that I would have my shredder on my hunter when I was gathering. Those are the only times that I would opt to not use dragon flying.
But
Oh shit. Immunization sorts his bags and he admits to being a member of the Foot Clan.
Foot Clan.
Foot Clan. I'm over here talking about, yeah, I love to hang out with Shredder. Sokuraki.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
Explain it to him off the microphone, the reference, because he was like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
I just imagine you desperately leaning over, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's exactly what it is. Those are his minions.
Because I was going to say, like, it's really, really offensive if you think I'm a foot guy, because, like, I think feet are fucking disgusting, and I will never understand, like, how people have fetishes.
We need to get rid of them.
Cut him off.
No, like, quite literally, if humanity just didn't have feet, I'd be cool with that.
Immune's gonna go into long legs.
Long
He's gonna see a long pair of feet at the end of him at the end of the movie, and he'll go, "Oh, that's the scariest part."
No, I'm talking like the ideal human body is the Fire Emblem model where it's long legs and then no feet.
No, we've seen it and it's horrible. I once wore sandals in the 4th grade to a field trip, and the kids made fun of me for showing toes. He has toes. And I'm like, take off your socks. I know you have toes too.
That's such a weird young kid thing to do. It's like, y'all, everyone has toes.
Anyway, so now
speaking of toes,
with the new update, I can no longer do what I was doing 5 days ago. I can't switch between the mounts freely without having to do a 5-second cast. And think about it. It's not only a 5-second cast. It's a 5-second cast into a regular 2.5 mount cast.
I think that is idiotic. I don't really understand why they implemented this. It should be basically instant, right? I mean, like, because the thing is, like, I don't know, like, is it like a world PvP thing? Like, if you're in combat in world PvP, you can't mount anyways. So then I'm just like, my follow-up thought is, like, ideally, you could then have a mount that cannot dragon ride, but are there even any that are unable to dragon ride? Does somebody have that list?
Yes.
No.
I don't have it up, but I know there's like 30 to 40, which seems like a lot, but in the face of all like 1,000 mounts, it's not a bunch. But there are a number that can't.
So I went through that list because I was like, oh yeah, we talked about the ones that can't. And I specifically remember that the Amalgam of Rage Diablo 4 pre-order mount was one of the ones unable to dragonfly in the alpha. I pulled it out. Bitch, they updated all of them. They can all dragonfly. There's one mount that cannot dragonfly, and it's the otherworldly Autok mount. It's the 500 mount Ghost Otter. But get this. If you have Dragonflight turned on, not static flight, and you get on the otherworldly Autok mount, you can't fly at all. It doesn't even pretend to let you fly. It's like, that's a ground mount, bitch.
So I feel like, they really did not update us on this decision, did they? Like, just to straight up basically eliminate normal flying in a way, or like to force you to choose one or the other. Like, I feel like they did not clarify that was their goal before, did they?
No, in my head, like, when I heard about it, I heard it was a cast. I was like, okay, it's a cast. It isn't that big of a deal. But 5 seconds is way longer than I thought it was gonna be. Because I was like, oh my god, I'm so fucking casting. Luckily, it's not interruptible if, like, an enemy hits you. But every fucking enemy I've done it near has had a knockback that has canceled it. And I'm like, come on, man.
That is really unfortunate, but, like, kind of funny.
So I'm hoping this gets... I mean, guys, the druids are up in arms right now. They're up in arms warriors business. They're up in arms for money legs.
Exactly.
They're up in long legs.
They'll be in long legs, and you'll be like, why aren't you guys playing your druids? The changes are so bad. We've opted to just watch long legs over and over again. I never get over how long her legs truly are.
But yeah, I checked the forum, immediately saw the very top of the forum was the you've ruined flight form. Can we please fix this? Really, and like the fix is pretty simple. Although I don't know if it is as simple. All they need to do is make it so like we can toggle which mounts are accessible, or just give us like 2 buckets that you can put mounts into. One dragon flying bucket, one regular bucket. But that, I'm saying it's easy, but I'm not a game developer, so it's probably a lot harder than I think it is with WoW Spaghetti code.
I saw someone was talking about, like, I have a simple fix for it. All you need to do is input this code, and it was like 5 lines of code. And it was something weird where it's like, if you press the button, it will summon the mount, and it will be in standard flying mode. But if you hold the button for 1 second, it will summon the mount in dynamic flying mode. I was like, I don't even pretend to know how that works, but I guess it does. But yeah, it's very unhelpful because I don't remember that person. I can't find that post again. And like I said, you had to do some serious like HTML coding, like it was MySpace, to get
Is
that
it like
to
a
work.
macro that I would put in?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
it's a macro. So it's essentially what it is if you just click the button, it summons your mount and you can slow fly. But if you hold the button for a second, then it summons it, but it's super flying now.
Because, like, realistically, let's be realistic here. Blizzard standards, right? All they really have to do is allow us to designate a single, just one mount as static flying. That's it. Make a little box. You can drag one mount, make it static flying forever, and that's all. I would put the golden beetle back on there, and then I'm fine. Then I'm good.
So basically you're saying that like are you calling to just remove the like 5-second cast switching between the 2 forms and then just have a mount that you set as your static flyer?
I think they can keep both. They can keep. Well, I would rather the cast time go away or make it 1 second. I don't know why it's not instant, but like make it 1 second just so you have to be on the ground when you're doing it, and then just make a little box so I can put one mount over there. And if other people want to switch back and forth, that's fine. They can do that. I don't care. I just want to have one that I can dragonfly and one that I can static fly.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess if they want to have this system where you toggle on or off dynamic or whatever, like, also a change. It's no longer called dynamic flying. It's called sky riding now.
Yeah, we have to get used to that. Sky riding.
Sky ride like a diamond.
Yes.
Red like a diamond.
But so like, I think ideally, if they wanted to have like toggle between skyride, normal fly, then like they could just have it be a button or a spell that you press, like, and just on a GCD, it like puts a buff on you, and then like you can click it off or click it again to take it off. I don't think it needs to be anything besides the GCD.
Sky ride, normal ride. I could really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now.
I wish to talk about talent changes. Poof. They took things from me. I feel robbed.
Aaron's been robbed. News at 4:45. What'd they rob you of?
Well, you see, they did a smash and grab on his talent tree.
You got smash and grab?
Except it's terrible because they first smashed it up, then they snatched it up, but then they left me the ghostly after image. I still got to look at the Alexstrasza's Fury icon for a little bit, but it doesn't exist anymore. I checked.
Is that the one that's like the red dragon going,
Yeah, the drag. We lean back and the dragon appears over our head, and we shoot fire in front of us, and it like stuns things. It makes them wander around for a couple seconds, which is pretty useful because that's all we could do. We had very few stuns, but that's gone. Spell steal is gone, I guess because it was too convenient or too like it took too much to coordinate. But it's like now when I fight famed Battle for Daza boss minion of Paku, how am I going to be helpful?
Because you can't polymorph him, right? Because isn't Minion Paku a druid?
Well, his whole thing was he had a speed buff that he would apply to himself, but mages could steal the speed buff, and then just that way it's like, oh, we're doing better, and he can't do it anymore. Now, there's none of that.
Oh, I thought you fighting that man. Oh, I saw you in Cubby Bub doing old raids. Was that next on your list?
Hoo. No, that was Cubby Bub was... She had some old old quest from actual Legion when she was doing Legion. And it had just survived in her list for years. And she was like, I finally want to do that. I have 19 out of 20 crystal tears from the Nighthold. Time to go do that again.
I'm really glad that they stopped doing that shit.
Yes. But it was crazy. We were going through, and then she got 20 for 20. And I don't even know what it used to give you, but she's like, finally, after all these years, $26.
She did it.
I feel like it might like unlock a new quest chain though, or something. Hopefully,
there was another part to it, but at that point, she was just like, "I'm done for tonight." So who knows how many years it will be till that next part? But we're all very proud.
What was the T-Mog gain like? Like, did you get a lot of shit for like all your stuff?
It was really nice. I will say, go out there. We have a week here where not a lot's happening. Go out to old raids because just about every single boss, I was getting 2 to 3 new items. That was like, ooh, hoo.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, now with the Warband bound stuff, so, like, what? You loot it, then you click on it, and then it adds it to your
You don't even have to click on it.
Oh, it just
you just
automatically
loot on
does
it, and it just automatically adds it to it, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. I haven't run an old raid yet.
I will say there was a post about old raids being harder currently. This might get changed, but Shadowlands bosses have 2.62 times more health and damage. BFA bosses have 1.68 times more health and damage. Legion bosses and downward are untouched. So it's fine in Legion, but once you get up to BFA and Shadowlands, you might get your shit pushed in. Just be aware.
What's the point? Who cares? Who fucking cares anymore? It's old. Just let us do old things. Come on.
Yeah, I think it's just because they changed how stats work. I think some things went wonky. I'm trying to think class changes that I went through. I wasn't even really sure what was happening to me in my dungeon. Like, because I was trying to get portals before I got some out of the way. And then I was like, I don't want to do Neltharis 10s. Like, fuck that. So now I'm just trying it again on my Evoker, and my damage feels so neutered. And I'm like, I'm doing the exact same things, but there was an Arms Warrior that was doing, like, crazy. He was killing things so quick. So I'm like, maybe that's it. But other Evokers were saying how weak they felt. So maybe it was a hero talent that makes up for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was in that dungeon with Slide. I was on my Hunter, so it was the two of us and this Arms Warrior. This Arms Warrior did have, I'll say, like 10 eye level on both of us, but he was doing like way more damage than both of us. Granted, there were some pulls where I was like similar to him, and like overall, I feel like my damage felt comparable to what it had been. Although the Hunter talent changes are interesting. The tree's completely different, so all of my old talent builds were just completely like wrecked. I had to find new ones to use, and like we're back in the like, remember that top period of time when I was talking about how BM Hunter just didn't have cooldowns?
Yeah, so now you have cooldowns?
No, we don't have cooldowns again. Like we had like our 2-minute Call of the Wild one, and I would say like most of the builds don't even call for it. Like, and they took away Death Chakram, and I'm very confused about that. I'm like, why did you bother giving it an updated non-Maldraxxus themed look if you were just going to be taking it away?
Oh, that is really weird. Maybe, do we think, is it possible are legendary weapons coming back and you're going to get back Death Chakram through an ability through a weapon?
I hope not.
You don't want Death Chakram.
No, I do want Death Chakram, but like I don't want to have to deal with another legendary bow that I won't get.
What if it's not a bow, but it's 2 razor blades you throw at the enemy called Earth Chakra?
Ooh, I was Death Chakram's brother. I was locked away in the vaults for all these years. Have you seen my brother? Where is he gone? And then that's the plot for Midnight is, we need to find Death Chakram. Where has he gone?
That's a whole patch cycle. That's the Korthia cycle of the expansion.
No, but like I legitimately was missing Death Chakram because it was providing a lot of like focus regain, and currently as it feels, I felt very focused starved during that dungeon. So also Explosive Shot is just like part of the main rotation now. I'm like, I've like never run Explosive Shot before, so that took a little bit of getting used to.
Well, let me tell you didn't really need focus to do a fuck ton of damage. I was sitting here like, I have everything and it's doing nothing. Nothing is happening from the buttons I am pressing.
And then Holy Priest, I feel like the trees didn't change at all. Like, legitimately, the builds that I had for the last 0.7 patch, exactly the same as now. So I'm like, oh, did literally nothing change?
I was looking at your patch notes, and yeah, it seems like nothing's really changing. I think your changes are all going to come when the hero talents come in, which is another weird thing. I kind of hate that I have to stare at these hero talents, unable to touch them for like a month. Like, I get
just
it.
tantalizingly hanging there in the middle, just a big gray block of nothing.
Grayed out like a character in a fighting game that we haven't unlocked yet.
Man, will I ever get Chijinko?
My friend Daniel didn't tell me how to get it yet. I'm just sitting here in agony.
The human racial is ass. I wrote that down. It's really sad. Like, I get it. I get they didn't want diplomacy. But 2 Hearthstone charges is the stupidest fucking racial. Who needs that? And think about this. There are definitely human mages out there that are like, I double don't need 2 Hearthstone charges.
You know what else I thought was dumb that I noticed during this pre-patch so far?
What?
The weird changes to crafting.
Yes. Okay, so like we saw the changes to crafting, but my eyes glazed over because I'm like, I don't know what any of this shit means. But so we used to be able to use inspiration, which is just a random proc, right? Like I had a high inspiration. I built a high inspiration specifically so I had a high chance of crafting things max level. Now that's gone. Everybody has the same chance to fucking craft things at a same level because they get this little stupid currency called, what's it called?
It's called concentration. There are these, like, you start with 100 out of 100 of them and you can choose to add them. And if you add them, it basically just gives you a higher chance of going, like, it gives you more skill or whatever.
So it's guaranteed.
Do we know how you acquire concentration?
It recharges on a time basis. So it's hard to tell if it's worse or better, right? Because it's a guaranteed inspiration proc, but you only get so many of them within a time frame. So if you're like me and like the expansion is starting off and you are making a bunch of shit constantly for people, I'm eventually going to run out of concentration for the day. I'm pretty sure it's a daily recharge, but I'm not 100% sure. Just the fact that, like, I'm going to be able to run out at a certain point and be like, sorry, bro, like, I can't make this. I can't guarantee you a max level because I'm out of concentration. Go talk to somebody else.
So is inspiration still a thing, though?
Oh, I think it's gone completely. I think it's been removed. So now you can't even get a proc off of it. It's my understanding when I was looking at it.
So I feel like for the highest level pieces, people are just going to have to charge more because it's like a limited resource of concentration.
Prices will go up, and the prices were already kind of expensive. Like, I kind of even feel like 5K is a little expensive. I mean, it's like lower on the scale, but still pretty expensive. Now, what, 10K, I guess? That seems crazy.
I remember when the hot and readies were only 5K.
I'm tired, and I remember when they would be hot and fucking ready. Now I roll up to the market, and I go, where's my 5K hot and ready shoes? And they go, I don't know, is it in the Pizzazz portal?
They don't
No, I didn't.
know.
I don't even know what the Pizzazz portal was. And then they go, what's your Pizzazz portal code? I'm like, I don't know. You gotta get Tyr over here to understand these relics. And they're like, you need the Pizzazz portal code. Even though I can see it through the magic glass.
Speaking of Tyr, I finally finished his last quest today for for the longest time.
He's no longer depressed because all his friends are dead. He's like, I had a real humdinger of a tale to tell you, but it's been months. Months.
Yeah.
Where were you?
That was the one. I was like, all right, let me go see why Tyr's been sad for the past 4 months. Let's pull up and get my tabard. So that was cool.
Honestly, it's been so fucking long, I don't even remember what the last quest was. This is the one where you had to go back to the Nighthold?
No,
the last quest is super funny. You resurrect Tyr, and Tyr's like, I'm gonna do all my business. And then a week later, it was like, did Tyr do his business? And he's just sitting and crying. And then they're like, Tyr's going to need some time to adjust to this world.
They were like, can you please talk to Tyr about, like, what's going on? And then I was like, okay, sure. Hey, Tyr, what's up? And, like, the option for quest was highlighted. But above that were, like, 4 questions that you could bug them with. So I'm like, well, I'm going to ask you all these questions first. I was like, tell me about other wars you were in. What were the Titans like? Ooh, did you really kill the old gods? And he was like, it makes me sad to talk about all these things, but I'll do it, I guess.
I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. Here, have this tabard.
Oh, okay, the currency. So, currency changes have been super nice. You can now send certain currencies to characters, even if you're not on that character. So I was able to, like, assimilate all my fucking Time Warp badges on all my many, like, 14 alts and send them to each other.
I'm more confused about why I looked over and I saw this long ass list of all of his characters with Time Warp badges. I'm like, why the fuck do you have like 45,000 Time Warp badges across 10 characters? What were you doing here?
Well, I wasn't able to spend them on that character at the time because I had already bought the thing that I wanted when their expansion rolled around. So, like, I own all the things from Warlords, right? Or from, like, Wrath of the Lich King. And that would always be the one that I'm on these alts for. And then I'm like, well, I can't buy the horse. Well, I can't buy the toy. So I guess I'm just going to put them away for 2 years. And then I did. So now I have, like, 40k Time Warp badges. Or 21k, actually, I think is what it is. But still, quite a bit. I can now buy all this shit for the next time it rolls around.
Yeah, honestly, a great change. It's a surprisingly weird amount and type of variety of currencies that you can transfer. So, like, if you want to transfer over your cataloged research from Korthia or wherever the fuck that was from, you could do that.
Yeah, I saw that because when I highlighted on, like, the transfer button in my bags, it highlighted everything that was transferable. And yeah, it was even, like, things like, it's like, your magic green dust from the druid event that happens every so often in Dragonflight. And I was like, I don't know, just get more dust. Like, I don't know anyone who's like, well, I've really been holding on to dust and I gotta use this to power up my little guy. Just get dust, it's free.
All right, I guess we can talk about Radiant Echoes, which is coming next week.
Yay! I know nothing about it. All I know is I saw a Lich King, and he was yellow.
So, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little unexcited for this event based on what I've seen.
Ooh.
Slidewhistle fucking hates it. He said like when we were laying in bed, I was like half asleep, and he's like, look at this, and holds up his phone. He's like, and I'm like literally eyes half open. I look at his phone screen, and it's like a picture of like Ragnaros in Radiant Echo form, and I'm like, yeah, he looks like Azeroth or something. And then Slidewhistle's
He's
like
yellow and blue.
And Slidewhistle's like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in this game. I can't believe they're adding this. This is so fugly.
It looks horrendous. Like I said, it looks like colon sausage. It looks like Azeroth's taking a fucking shit.
Excuse me, colon sausage?
Yes, it looks like freshly churned colon sauce. It looks like Azeroth is in there, right? And she got the bubble guts, and she's just shitting. She's just shitting dookies. That is Ragnaros and Lich King, and she's like, oh, sorry. Ooh, sorry. They're piss colored.
Oh, she said it was a late night with the mooberry ice cream from my local Meijer. Oh.
Do you like this color scheme, Immune? You must love it.
Okay, I will say that I don't mind the color scheme, but I will say that like you were also showing me some like there were like video clips of them that people were showing from, I guess, beta or PTR or something, and it looks worse in the actual gameplay than it does in the pictures. I think the color scheme and effect on them is fine, but I will say that they looked pretty bad like in the wild. I agree with you.
So I'm going to assume, based on the name and based on the poo-poo characters I've seen, we're going to go around the world and there are scary poopy dookie versions of all of the evils from the past.
The vibe I was getting is, you know how like in a Dream Surge area, they're like, these bosses are empowered by the Dream Surge, and then there would just be like see-through, translucent, like dream green versions of them. That's kind of the vibe I was getting.
Okay, I'm going to set aside my bias of how much I hate it, and I will give you the news from the official Blizzard Entertainment website. We have the when, where, currency, and levels. When, July 30th to August 26th. Where, Dalaran, Hub, Dragonblight, Dustswallow Marsh, and Searing Gorge. Currency, residual memories. Half-forgotten memories can be glimpsed in the light playing across this iridescent powder. Levels 10 to 70, so all may enjoy unless 9 or below.
So I wonder if this currency will be transferable?
Can you imagine if it wasn't? They implement this huge system that allows you to trade like druid dust, and it's just like, nope, sorry, gotta do it all on one guy for this one.
Players who have reached level 70 will receive an introductory quest, and then will be directed to visit Dalaran to start. Players under level 70 will be immediately directed to Dalaran. Okay.
Immediately, they'll be forcibly sent to Dalaran.
Send him to Dalaran immediately!
Mr. Electric!
Mr. Electric! Send him to the Purple Palace immediately!
Okay, here's the actual what's going on. The event will occur in 4 stages and cycles between 3 zones. Okay, you're already losing me. Portals in Dalaran will be available to take you directly to the event staging area, and a return portal is available in each of the event zones so players can quickly return to Dalaran and head to the next occurrence. When the event is active in a zone, the portal will have an additional glow to indicate it's active, so watch for the glow. During the first week, zones will cycle every 90 minutes. During the second week, zones cycle every 60 minutes. During the third and fourth weeks, zones will cycle every 30 minutes.
Okay.
Epic.
Is Phil jazzed?
Honestly, well, whatever.
I sure hope there is a TWW set that looks ugly as sin that I can earn a weird coloration of for this, as is my Prepatch-lite.
Stage 1, players will need to defeat the congealed memories that appear in the zone and the memories around it. In Stage 2, defeat the radiant echoes causing havoc in the zone. There are 6 random events that are active that can be seen on the map. They're marked by a globe. Stage 3. Okay, it actually is important, so everyone listen to this one. Stage 3.
Okay, yeah, get the cut out of your ears. Listen to this one.
You'll be able to do a quest in each zone during the event that asks you to defeat one of the event bosses as follows. Remembered Lich King, Remembered Onyxia, Remembered Firelord. You need to kill the boss. You cannot AFK. If you don't kill the boss, you do not complete the quest. It says, Stage 4 will begin, and the boss will no longer be available to kill for the quest completion until the event begins in the zone again. Bosses can also rarely drop pieces of gear. So kill the boss, tag the boss. And then, like, Stage 4, why even have a Stage 4? It says, in Stage 4, the Radiant Echoes have subsided. Players can choose to return to Dalaran or stay within the zone to slay lingering memories. Okay, here's why. To continue to accrue residual memories. That's our currency. Remember that. So, Rezzies is our currency.
Rezzies for Radiant Echoes? Wait,
residual
memories.
memories.
Rezzies?
Silly goose.
Res memory? Okay, I get it.
Ooh, Rezzies.
I feel like we have seen this Prepatch event a million times.
Yes, I apologize.
It's the same every time.
I don't mean to scream, but yes. Remember old thing that was happening when you played the game? New player who probably isn't buying a new expansion? Come back and do it. Dragonflight, we had random guys empowered by dragon or primal business. Before that, all the old zombies came back for Shadowlands.
But listen, Aaron, I feel like what they really need to do to bring in a target demographic, to convince people to resub, they really should have just said, listen, player base, there's going to be a new currency. A new currency that you will never use again, that will linger in your alt bags for, like, probably several years, and then, like, in the year 2029, you'll be like, what the fuck is this? And then, like, there will be no use for it.
Don't worry, everyone. Residual memories, will be able to be traded between characters. So when the event ends, you can trade them infinitely between your characters before getting rid of them all in 2029.
So we have a list of rewards here. There's an heirloom ring for 25.
I knew it! I'm so sorry. He posted the armor, and I knew it! Except it's not a TWW one, it's a legionary color. What the heck?
Well, and see, they don't really tell me, is this the plate version? Because, like, how they list this is weird, right? So there's a ring, an heirloom ring. There's a 32 slot bag. Isn't that, like, can you just buy that for, like, a nickel?
I'm pretty sure 32 is kind of the standard nowadays.
Like, I literally have been yelling at both of you to hit me up to make you 32 slot bags. So, like, I mean, like, I guess, like, sure, I'll take a 32 slot bag.
You'll never ever replace the the goblin's lunch sack I've been using for 10 years. My 10 slot beauty.
I do wish they would give us an item that could just, like, extend old bags, because I like seeing silly names on my bags and not just, like, Emperor Silk Bag.
We should be able to T-Mog our bags.
Yeah, T-Mog our bag. Ian. Oh, he's not here right now. He wants to be on another interview. There's 2 mounts. There's the Remembered Golden Griffin, which is the shit piss color griffin. You can get a Wind Rider, whatever the Horde version, the thing with the weird tail. A 30 slot reagent bag, 3 pets, and then, like, just basically catch-up gear. But it's $480. So, like, it really is for people who are coming back, because, like, we're gonna be rocking 5 something. Oh, it is upgradable, so maybe that's actually another part to it. But, you know, standard pre-patch event. Get your stuff, get out, something to do in the downtime.
Pre-patch catch-up gear is so funny to me, because, like, what are you catching up to?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not for us, and I feel like we say this every time on the show whenever one of these events happens, and we're like, oh, it's not for us. We will get in, get our T-Mog, get out, and then wait for TWW, I guess. Like, I feel like that's what it is for us, because, like, we don't really need catch-up gear.
Yeah, I feel like pre-patch is always just kind of, like, I feel like Legion was the last one that I really liked.
Well, but at the same time, I don't know, not to cut you down, but at least for me, the Legion pre-patch, I was an idiot. I didn't know anything. It was cool for me to be like, oh my god, I'm getting all this cool gear. Maybe it is just we're too on the ball nowadays.
Maybe.
We need to be lazier going into these things.
But, like, I mean, granted, we haven't seen this one yet, so maybe we're judging it too harshly, right? Maybe there's going to be some story and some quests and some lore and some stuff. Because with the Legion, remember, the Demon Hunters moved in. We were talking to them. Like, it was kind of cool.
Okay, well, I mean, this will tie into the main story, because the hub is Dalaran. And we know the introductory quest line in TWW is, like, sorted around Dalaran and it crashing. So, like, something. It will lead us into it somehow, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess for me, when I just see, like, it's the old bosses. I'm like, we did that in Shadowlands. We fought the old bosses already. I don't need to see old bosses for a while. Like,
we fought most of these guys in the Soradormi time rift. Like,
yes,
the Lich King's coming at me again for the 8th time this year.
Yeah, that's I think that's a lot where I'm coming from. But again, we'll see. Oh my god. Breaking news. This hasn't happened in like 12 years. I don't think we've ever experienced this. North American accounts are receiving compensation game time for extended downtime. Because remember, the Warbands, since they were down all day on Tuesday, we're getting game time added to our accounts.
Ooh,
we legitimately have never had this happen to us.
Here we go. Here's the blue post. We wanted to take a moment to recognize that the first day of the pre-expansion content update for the War Within resulted in extended downtime. For many players in North American realms, In recognition of these difficulties during the initial launch, we're adding 1 day of extra game time to every subscription in North America, Latin America, Australia, and New Zealand.
Babe, it's okay. We can game. The bills are due on September 2nd.
Yippee! Let's see, these comments are gonna be nice. Respect. Thanks, Blizz. Nothing but positive. Nice. But why can't it take them more than 20 days? Wait, what? We're not getting it until August 15th.
What? What, are we going to get an email? Don't worry, everyone. The extra days right now. This is today. Live it up.
I'd like to think that they had to take it up the chain all the way to Blizzard to get approved, overall company approval for 1 day extension of game time.
1 day more. 1 day more for playing Warcraft.
This is a super smart decision, though, because if there's anything I see the brain-dead complainers talk about, it's like, why does it even give compensating game time anymore? And now they're going to be like, oh my god, they gave game time. Microsoft is awesome. So, there you go, suckers. Eat it up. I'm eating it up. Yeah, you guys have any other thoughts on this pre-patch? Any quick fires?
I am here to give my official report, everyone. The Warband login screen is here. And no, your characters don't really do that much.
Well, it is a little more varied than I thought it would be, though. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but first off, they each do a class-specific thing when you click on them as if you're about to log into them. Like, my priest is levitating and channeling a spell. My hunter pulls out his gun and is in battle stance, etc. But then also, when you switch off of them, there's a variety of different things they can do. They can kneel, they can sit, they can stand there. So it's a little more varied, but there's no egg frying.
Smish. But yes, I am appreciative for it's mostly when you first log in before you've selected a guy. I feel like they're all interestingly posed. And then once you select them, like you said, they do their class thing. And then when you deselect them, they're like, well, I don't want to go back down there again. That's too much work. So I guess I'll sit here in A pose. So if you cycle through all 4 of them like I did, then you're just kind of left with your standard login screen. But for what I'll be doing 99% of the time, which is looking at it for 2 seconds, hitting go on Growlina and moving on, it's fine. That's my official rating. It's fine.
Yeah, hoping they fix it soon. I feel like they have a lot of other things to get working on first, but once they're all done with that, I think it'll be glorious. And now it's time for our top 2, bottom boot, medium moot. I'll kick it off first this week. I got a top 2. I have been doing so much testing to figure out who I am going to be maining in the War Within.
Well, can you give us a sneak peek, a preview, if you will, of what the Guntometer is saying? What is it telling you?
The Guntometer / Honkometer, that's what I want to call Honkometer still, is really
dead
reaching out.
naming.
So I did a lot of testing on Alan, the Death Knight. He does taxes. Really loving how it feels. Then I learned Blizzard's going to nerf it by 10% across the board, every ability. And I was like, let me see what else we got cooking. So I was on Wild Seed, my druid, doing some fun feralin. It's the exact same rotation I've been doing. I know it inside and out. I dropped a Tuskar beanbag to practice in Valdrakken while I read a guide. And as I'm hitting this fucking beanbag, Rev, with a little tilde over the E, messages me and says, beat it up. Hit that thing.
I appreciate, there are moments every once in a while that make me appreciate that, this is an MMO. This is an experience that I don't get in other games.
It's exactly what I love from this game. I love that you can talk to anybody you want. And I was like, I'm swinging, Captain. And they go, give her all you got, Captain. Now, I will say we both can't be captains in a situation, but I do appreciate the banter. And then they ran away and did a flip over the beanbag and ran off into the sunset. So, Rev, if you're out there somewhere, mwah. Immune, top 2, bottom boot, medium boot.
Well, I have a bottom boot, unfortunately.
Boo.
And it is about the login screen, not the actual Warband images or posing that they do, but more so about the fact that they just completely resorted all of the other characters in like whatever order they felt like doing.
So bad. It's so fucking. Why is Gum Gums in between two Proudmoore characters? It makes no sense.
Why is it Argus, Daddy Tommy, like Wigglestein, Sergiamanos, and then like a Horde guy? What happened?
Also,
it's not even based on like server. It's just random. Anything, anywhere.
Also, like, that's another part of the bottom boot. The fact that just like all the different server people are just like all thrown in here all together. It's not, as far as I could tell, it wasn't alphabetical. It wasn't by level. Also, I don't think that you could sort it. Like, I don't think there was an option to sort it by level, which would have been very easy, which would have been, like, a nice for me to, like, sort them, because that's what I ended up doing, dragging them one by one, like, my higher level characters, the ones that actually play, putting them at the top. Yeah, I was just really annoyed by that, so that's why it, like, is my bottom boot this week, I guess.
Yeah, I want to go through and sort them, but I just have too many goddamn characters. It's so annoying to look at that I'm like, I can never scroll ever again to the bottom of this list.
But Aaron, what do you got this week?
Well, I will finish this segment with a top toot. After almost a year of waiting, Anduin finally has come home. His Nendroid was delivered at 11:30 a.m. yesterday. I cracked him open today, put him right next to his work wife, Sylvanas, and I'm just happy to have him.
So, like, for the newer listeners, you're waiting on this boy for a very long time. Also, like, you just didn't really have any updates until, like, I feel like earlier this week, they were like, hey.
Yeah, Monday, they told me, hey, he's going to be here soon. And I was like, whoa! And it had been since December of 2023.
So it's been a long time, and then, like, all of a sudden they're like, hey, it's on the way, and then, hey, it's here. I was like, oh, okay, that's fast all of a sudden. But, like, I like the setup that you got going, though.
Well, gosh, thanks. But here's my gosh darn complaint. Hey, Blizzard and Good Smile, I appreciate you made this boy. He ain't got nothing to do. So, if you look at a Nendroid, they have several different parts you can switch out and sort of put them in different situations. Not my man, Andy. And I'm going to guess it's because he's heavily armored and, like, his actual, like, model is complex. But he can't bend his legs. He can't do nothing with that. He has 2 straight arms and 1 bent arm, but it's not on the sword one, so he can only ever hold his sword forward. His alternate hand features, it's like a fireball. I will say, I don't know what they could do, but not exactly priest magic, in my opinion. It just looks like a fireball. He can hold that in the sword hand, but not the other one. So he can't dual wield. I'm like, come on, Blizzard, let me do it.
It's not in the picture you sent, right?
No, so I will send a follow-up picture to host chat here. He has, it's just like a fireball, but he can only have it in his right hand. I really wanted to dual wield him, make him look cool, but it was between that or Charlemagne, and I was like, I like Charlemagne better than this fireball.png, so
Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't seen it yet, but, like, I have a few theories about what it could be as a priest. Like, it literally could be just, like, as simple as, like, a smite, or a holy fire, or a divine star, if you throw it, I guess, but, like, that's about all I got.
So I have sent the photo here. Yeah, it's just, like, it's something. I guess, priest main that you are, do you know what this man is holding?
Okay, so all of my theories don't really match up here. This literally just looks like a fireball.
Yeah, it's definitely just a generic fireball, which is like good for him, but yeah. So I gotta say, love Andy. Love that they did that for him
as well.
Yeah, love they did that for him. Kind of a C-tier Nendo, if I may say, but beggars can't be choosers. And speaking of choosers, I am choosing to thank our $5 patrons. They include Ahoy Vince, NSYNC/Drag Race, Azeroth, Digital Dave, asking Growlina to say, for the Horde. Kat, the Shamateur Shaman, Immunization Secret Stalker, Tohi.
Oh, I am a stalker.
Mitch, who wants to remind everyone that Rathion isn't daddy, he's a literal child. Crucifix, Alternator, Saracen Hawk, Chris M, Kick Puncher, Jerome, Adorno. Losing the Patient, Gershi Super Squirt Day, Calcus Waiting for Prepatch, Cilantro, Wooly, Slidewhistle Secret Stalker, Tee-hee-hee.
I had one first.
Adam N, Vanderlyle, and Will, aka Tire, Trade Chat's fallen father.
Yes, email us at donotrelenttpod@gmail.com. Check out all of our links at donotRelent.com. We are officially on YouTube and YouTube Music. It's going to take a while to get all that shit uploaded. It's a lot of episodes. Also, we forgot to mention that the World of Warcraft unionized. I mentioned it in the opener, but didn't talk about it. More on that next week. What about you guys? Where you at?
Well, you see, you can find me, Alex or Immunization, on Twitter at NewEraAlex or on Blue Sky at Immunization.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at TheBigAcheesy on Twitter.com. Watch me play video games on twitch.tv/AaronDNR. And I'll be setting up our own DNR union. You can meet me at the spaghetti shop if you want to sign up. Don't tell your boss.
Keep it on the down low. Hit it, Commander Linden.
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.